and welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I'll be your moderator, Brandon Jones. Joining me this week, panelists Michael Huber.
Hello.
Michael Damiani.
Yo.
And my eerily accurate co-moderator, Mr. Daniel Bloodworth.
Hello.
Distinguished guests, we are here to talk about some of the biggest headlines in the world of video games. But before we do that, we must answer for all of the mistakes we made last week. Bloodworth, please begin corrections music. Boop. Rainbow Six Siege definitely had a rocky launch. You doubted me, Bloodworth. Lots of people chimed in with that. One commented on the linked a Eurogamer article that talked about the the fall and rise of Siege, and started with saying something to the effect of, I mean, we all know it had a bad launch. And I was like, we did? And I tried to find articles talking about it, but it was 73 on Metacritic, so it reviewed okay. I guess just technically had some issues. Ben's Twitter handle was shown at the start instead of Damiani's. Apologies, Damiani. That was a lower third. I was like, oh, cool. I don't have to make this one, and gotta replace that one. The American Psychiatric Association had added Internet Gaming Disorder, or IGD, to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders in 2013, which is a list of current formal psychiatric diagnoses. For many of these behavior-based disorders, there is almost always a stipulation that the behavior must cause significant impairment or distress in several aspects of a person's life, just like Damiani was describing. And pretty much every study ever involves a literature review section where they go over previous studies into the area. I was like, one cool thing about this study, and then describe something that every study does ever. And corrections music, please. I would like to start off with a silver lining, something positive in the world of gaming. We're wrapping up 2020. It's been a tough year, and sometimes we talk about good things in the podcast. Sometimes things are a little more difficult. Starting off with some interesting, potentially bad news at the beginning. But before we get into that, here's a silver lining from Shy Ambar. Finally, Uri Geller apologized for suing to prevent the character Kadabra from gracing Pokemon cards for almost 20 years. He tweeted, "I am truly sorry for what I did 20 years ago. Kids and grown-ups, I am releasing the ban. It's now all up to Nintendo to bring my Kadabra Pokemon card back. It will probably be one of the rarest cards now. Much energy and love to all." In Japanese, Kadabra is named Yongera, and in Japanese, Uri Geller is pronounced Urigera. So you can see this was not accidental. The letters are also very similar. Combine this with the character's psychic abilities and bent spoon accessory, which Yuri is famous for, and you can see he's probably right. Kadabra was based on him, but still, a little salty. Curious why it's just the cards, though. I tried to dig a little bit on this, but Kadabra's in all the games, and I don't know why it was just the cards.
Yeah. I didn't know about any of this.
You did not. This is news to you, dummy.
I vaguely remember it, but it's not something I've ever dug into.
So yeah, they just skipped over Kadabra in the Pokemon card game to fix that. But and I love he's like, balls in your court, Nintendo. It's like, oh great, shots fired. Casey Hudson and Mark Darrah left BioWare today, shortly before this podcast. If you're curious who these gentlemen are, we'll start with Casey. Casey Hudson previously was the general manager of BioWare. I recall Casey Hudson announcing Mass Effect. I will never forget Jeff Groats, the co-founder of GameTrailers.com, rushing into our office after recording stuff at E3, and he was like, "We have to get this interview up right away." And I was like, "What is this?" And he's like, "BioWare announced Mass Effect." And I'm like, "Huh?" And it was him just cornering Casey in a hallway. And I was like, there's no B-roll. They don't have a trailer. They have just a logo. Nobody's going to watch this. And he's like, trust me, this is a huge thing. This is the Knights of the Old Republic guys, making this, whole, new space odyssey. He was hired by BioWare's founders, Greg Zeshik and Ray Mizuka, in 1998 as a junior technical artist. And he had already left in 2014 to become a creative director at Microsoft, then came back in 2017, is now leaving in 2020. So every 3 years, Casey Hudson really sits back and reevaluates everything. Any connection to Casey Hudson from anybody on the podcast tonight?
No connection. Just Mass Effect 1, though. I mean, I remember that fever before that game came out. It's one of the very few franchises that I got so obsessed with that I read novels for it. There was a prequel Mass Effect 1 novel.
Oh, before the first game.
Before the first game. Wow. That I just read to get so invested in the world. My hype was at a fever pitch for that game. It was a big deal.
Hubert, I've dabbled in the first Mass Effect, but I did like 4 hours or something. Like I didn't really get into it, and I know 2 is like one of the best RPGs ever. Really excited about playing it next year. According to BioWare, that's still happening. A lot of Anthem next, all that stuff is still happening according to BioWare. Should I read that novel? Should I prep myself? Do you
Pretty
remember?
unnecessary.
All right.
It was about the villain and Shepard's like kind of mentor, so it's kind of their rivalry. So then when I played the game, I had like more context with those two characters, so it's pretty cool, but unnecessary.
From Casey's blog post, quote, "After nearly 20 years of work at BioWare, I've made the decision to retire from the studio and make way for the next generation of studio leaders. This year, we've been inspired by the continued community support for our ongoing work on Star Wars The Old Republic and Anthem. A few months ago, we provided a deeper look at the work that's going on in the next huge Dragon Age game, and on N7 Day, we announced Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition, and gave a hint at what's coming next in the Mass Effect universe. It's an exciting time, both in terms of projects you've heard about and some things not yet announced. Bloodworth, is it an exciting time at BioWare?"
At BioWare, I don't know at BioWare. It feels, outside of that, it feels a little tentative. I think people are very much on pins and needles after Mass Effect Andromeda and Anthem. I don't know anyone outside of the company that's excited about Anthem. That game feels like it's dead and should be buried, and why Anthem next is something that needs to be in these sentences, I'm not sure, other than they want to recoup that investment. Mm-hmm. The Mass Effect trilogy is definitely something people are looking forward to. Dragon Age, I think people are looking forward to, but are skeptical. They want to see it before they get too excited. But yeah, so it's odd. It's odd for these guys to be leaving at the same time. It makes you wonder if something else is shaking up behind the scenes. I know people have been kind of pointing to Austin. The Austin team is kind of taking more of the reins from the core team or whatever. But I don't know. It's hard to read because the way Casey's statement sounded was very much, it felt like it echoed like when Kyle left us, where it's just like, hey, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do next. I just, I got to go do something else. And like, okay. So and there was nothing wrong, with us. Kyle just decided he wanted to do something different. And Casey has been working with BioWare for 20 years. And so that sounds fairly plausible, except there's somebody else doing the exact same thing.
Arriving at this point has been an opportunity for me to reflect on my own future, and 2020 has been a year that forced all of us to reimagine how we think about work and life, including Kyle Bossman. Strange that he would mention that. For me, it's been the realization that I still have tremendous energy to create, but also that I need to try something different. I'm not sure exactly what that is yet, but I know I want to start by rediscovering my creative passion through more personal work. Not sure what that is yet.
Right.
That's not a good sign. It's like, no idea where I'm going. I just know I got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah. This sounds so familiar. I feel like I've heard this several times before, where it's like, it's the nice way of saying thank you for having me work here and stuff, but something was not going right behind the scenes, and I had a disagreement, and I lost the argument, or I couldn't win the argument, so I'm out of here. I think I get the vibe that maybe team or EA or above BioWare something wanted to do something with the new Mass Effect, and maybe that's not what Casey wanted to do with it, and saw the writing on the wall where it's going to be this way. I'm not going to be able to do anything about it. They have too much power and influence right now after our shortcomings. I'd rather go do something else. He probably, I imagine it wasn't satisfying. I think it was just what they were going to do wasn't going to satisfy him on a personal level. And rather than stick it through with that stuff and be miserable and potentially kill their passion for that part about passion is probably true. It's like, hey, I still want to make things, but you know what? If I stay here, that might go away. I need to just get out of here and see what else is out there, and maybe I'll find something else and do something. So I don't know. I guess the thing was, I initially thought knee-jerk reaction to this was, something's going wrong with Mass Effect. This is, this is do or die for BioWare, in my opinion. Like, I thought Andromeda and Anthem back to back was the end of them. I thought they weren't coming back from that. Them getting one more chance is like, I feel like this is it. You guys get, like, you've made some of the best games. You get one more shot at this before Papa EA takes you out back and does what they do to everyone.
Yeah, because I think of a couple things. It's like, studios make games, so it's like the amount of turnover, people coming in and out, like, is this even the same BioWare from the glory days of Mass Effect and Dragon Age, you know? So just, to me, it reads like, you know, this old guard, these veterans of the company that are tied to the quality games from BioWare, are like, that hurts that two people are leaving.
For sure. I also could potentially see this as a positive. See, this is where I think it could go either way, though. This is why I also, like, that was my knee-jerk reaction, but now I give pause and I thought about it. Sometimes the old guard has to move aside to let new creativity come in, and I think that could be the case here, where they have these up-and-coming people who want to take the series in a different direction, and maybe it's a great vision, but the other teammates or the older guards, like, that's not what we really did with this series. We don't kind of see that vision, and it's just like, all right, we're going to move aside because let's try something. I feel like at this point they need to try something, you know, new. They need to swing for the fences. So it can just be as simple as that, where a new team's coming in. I mean, it is totally doable where a new studio is assigned to an old franchise and turns it into something amazing. Countless examples. Sorry, I'm going to win a Nintendo one. When frickin' Retro made a Donkey Kong Country game, after everyone was like, "Oh, Rare's not making Donkey Kong Country. This is gonna be terrible." They made amazing games. So I mean, there's other examples. I'm sure that I'm just not thinking of. I'm like, I'll wait till I see it. You know, this could turn out to be really good, actually.
Well, this is not.
Do you think?
Sorry, Huber.
No, do you think BioWare and or other companies save their back catalog for when they're desperate, like releasing Mass Effect Remastered at this time after the failures of Andromeda and Anthem? Do you think they've just been like kind of sitting on it, and or like they had to go back to it? Like, all right, we need a win. Let's put this out there for some good faith, good optics.
In this situation, yeah. Go ahead, Blood. Sorry.
Yeah, I just feel like EA hasn't been that keen on doing a lot of remasters to begin with. So yeah, but it's weird though, because like, who else is doing remasters is Criterion, you know? It's like, you guys basically gutted that studio, created Ghost Games, and now all Criterion is doing is like support work on other games and remastering the old Need for Speeds that they made. So it's kind of strange. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, and Burnout. They did the Burnout Paradise one too. But yeah, it's hard to say. You know, I think it's something they saw as an opportunity for this time with the new generation coming up.
It's a good time for it. They need it.
Yeah, and Anthem's in a bad place right now. But I think Dragon Age and Mass Effect Andromeda had a lot of problems, but I don't think it necessarily damaged. I think it damaged BioWare more than it damaged Mass Effect. Like, I think Mass Effect still a franchise people get excited for. I think that remaster is going to sell really well, and I think this is this kind of cloudy development cycle where they are just kind of throwing darts at the board and erasing the dry erase board over and over and over again to try to figure this all out. So it does seem like it makes sense. I'm just surprised Casey's like, well, been there for 20 years. And it's like, yeah, I guess if you add all the years up, sure. Like, you're just omitting that 3 years you were gone. And just saying that this is completely a positive thing. It's like, Damiani, should he have stated it differently? Should he have been like, I will at least admit Andromeda had issues and that we didn't necessarily have the best year. Is that just something you don't do in a message like this?
I don't know. Am I misremembering? Wasn't there also after not warranted or not after Mass Effect 3? Weren't fans making a big deal out of Casey Hudson not a quote unquote apologizing for the ending or something like that? Like, he was asked about it a lot, and like, obviously as a creator, like, no, this is the ending we meant to make, right. And it's getting called out for. So maybe it is like, they just don't want to cause any controversy with their words. We're just saying something that's sounds like it's a PR response. It's harmless. It won't bring anything negative to EA, BioWare, or the Mass Effect franchise, or Dragon Age franchise, and wherever he's going. I think it's just a good look when you do stuff like this. You craft your words so you don't burn bridges, and that's their legacy. I mean, Mass Effect, as you said, one misstep with Andromeda, whatever, it could come back and be amazing again. It's not like people would be excited and willing to have another awesome Mass Effect. Like, I don't think it has that uphill of a battle. You know what, dude?
Because I think of God of War Ascension.
That's what I was just gonna do.
Being a misstep.
Damn it!
Nice.
Go ahead.
Drift compatible, Damiani. Yeah, just God of War Ascension, and then like retooling that and having the God of War 2018.
Exactly.
So.
The one thing I wasn't sure on Huber, I was secretly like Wikipediaing it to make, did it have negative reception or mediocre?
It's like mediocre.
Because Huber will correct me immediately if I get it wrong.
Yeah, actually, Ascension's a good one because it's like, I think both games are actually pretty enjoyable games. It's just, they're not the things that are pushing the franchise forward like you expect from the sequels.
Heck, even Fable, man. After the cancellation of was it Legends, and then that terrible Kinect game or whatever that was technically canon.
Totally forgot about that.
Canon.
You remember that?
Canon, dude.
I had to
Forgot about
review
that
that
game.
for game trailers. That was punishment. But yeah, those are series that people still have a desire and a demand for it to come back and be great again. And you know what?
Hitman is another good one too.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
After Absolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is, I think what you said earlier, Jones, about like what this trilogy need a win. I think this is the perfect setup leading into it. Because if a franchise has been gone for a while, or that last one was a misstep, you come back with something that's like reassuring, that like familiarize everyone. Like, this is familiar, it feels good. I love Mass Effect. So everyone started talking positively about Mass Effect, then bam, you hit them with that new one. You know what? That's what they need to do with they're probably gonna do that with Metroid. They're gonna do that, drop that trilogy, be like,
yes,
Prime games, boom, here's Metroid Prime 4. So. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah. I'm very eager to see.
I wonder if like you were saying, Huber. I wonder if remasters sit on the shelf. I wonder.
Seriously,
if, like,
that's what I'm thinking.
I don't know. I really don't know. It's the whole concept around the Crash Bandicoot and all that stuff. It's really fascinating. I would love just a deep dive study on that. Bloodworth, you edit all of the scripts that we produce here at Easy Allies. We got 3 reviewers other than you, all of us reviewing games for Easy A. No script, I believe, has ever passed through your gaze without you changing something. I've never gotten a 10 out of 10 script back from Bloodworth. So it's like, we'll change a little bit. Do you think EA and BioWare just kind of lets Casey and Mark just write their blog? Or do you think they're like, let me get in there and maybe tweak that, maybe change that sentence? Do you think
I don't know how that works on that kind of like crazy corporate level, like who they have kind of brush over it. I'm sure there's probably some PR person that does a scan through it at least, but yeah.
And speaking of just the shakeups at the studios, they officially said we have a quote. We have a very talented leader in Gary McKay. This is Casey saying this. Our Senior Director of Development Operations, who will be BioWare's interim studio GM. Christian Daly has been a driving force in BioWare, studio director for BioWare Austin, like you were saying, Blood, and will be taking over the role of Dragon Age's executive producer. Speaking of Dragon Age, Mark Darrah was the executive producer of Dragon Age. And in his blog post, he said, I've been at BioWare since the 90s, back when CRPGs were considered a dead genre. Though I remain confident in BioWare's strength and continued place in this conversation, I've decided to retire from my position. Matthew Goldman remains the creative director. BioWare has always been about telling emotional stories through characters. We have wandered away from the central guiding pillar at times, but I'm confident that the next Dragon Age will show that we remained committed to this type of game. We still have a lot to show you. So there we go. A little bit of honesty creeping in. A little bit of we haven't been perfect, but I'm excited about the future. Which, while people are like, yeah, we're skeptical. This could potentially be bad news. It's got to be a great thing to hear if you're still at BioWare. Be like, thank you.
Right.
This is another 1, 2, 3 years ahead of us that we have to pour our heart and souls and potentially crunch into this. So. But interesting little bit of honesty that didn't necessarily get from Casey's post. And I mentioned before, like we talked about Mass Effect, but just in general for Dragon Age, can they take a little bit more time to announce stuff? Which I guess Dragon Age is in better shape than Mass Effect, probably. Just in terms of fan
I don't
feedback.
know. I feel like people are
Inquisition won Game of the Year.
Inquisition is a weird spot where it was like really well received by some people and not as cared for by others. Whereas I think Andromeda is a little bit more across the board. Hey, this didn't meet expectations.
And the ending of 3 is very divisive.
Right.
Controversial. So I think Mass Effect, needs a win. Just kind of stumbled at the end of the trilogy, and then Andromeda is, like Blood was saying, just kind of.
But I feel like the ending of Mass Effect 3 has become less and less an issue to people over time, especially since they added.
That's why I say divisive. It still seems kind of
whatever it was called.
Citadel.
Yeah.
It felt like Mass Effect fans, as angry as they were, had a real good time making fun of that ending. They at least made themselves laugh like a lot. Baby. Yeah, like Andromeda wasn't kind of the same thing. Posting those glitches didn't really, create as many joyful memes as the ending of Mass
Effect. I
remember
they patched it a little bit because their backlash was so intense. They tweaked it. Mm-hmm. It's pretty shortly after.
We'll see.
Just minor.
Will I get to the end of Mass Effect 3 by the end of 2021? I do not know. And just like Casey, Mark says, I don't know what's next for me, but I'm excited to find out. Just as I'm excited to find out what Dragon Age now becomes, which is also a little cloudy. He's heading out the door.
What is it?
No idea. I mean, I saw that trailer y'all saw we just released.
I think that could be more in terms of, not just this game, but just the franchise as a whole. If he was in charge of the whole franchise. But yeah, I mean, it is interesting that they both sort of said we don't have any plans, because I could see them. Those ex-Blizzard guys recently started up their studio, and I could see these guys being like, hey, let's just make something new, get a small team together, see if we can get bought by Microsoft in 6 years, and
see, right. And in a blog post from EA Chief Studios Officer Laura Meal, she asserted that Dragon Age 4, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and other stuff will continue development as planned.
High hopes, dude.
Of course.
High hopes.
Yeah. And high hopes for the team. Again, I hope this is not a morale hit for any of them. And these are two extremely talented gentlemen. So, Casey's...
Is it bad of me? Like Bloodworth started saying, is it bad that I wish they would just shut down Anthem and use those resources into Mass Effect and Dragon Age? I just don't see a lot of people wanting Anthem to return.
Right. Yeah. I feel like and because Anthem is more of live service game, I feel like it's EA just trying to hold that lifeline.
Yeah.
Because they're not fans of single player games, as they're on record saying, and I feel like that's why that thing is sitting there, and like you're saying, it's a lot of resources. It's a lot of resources that are not necessarily intrinsic to the kinds of things BioWare is known for.
Yeah.
And the closest thing they've got to, a live service game is Old Republic, which is, mentioned as well in all of this. And I'm sure doing fine. It's just not something you hear people talk about that much anymore. It's been so long.
Hubert, it's like EA not making a successful live service game is like Julia Childs botching a chicken. It just feels bad, They're like, we should, come on, we can't admit failure. we gotta have at least last, because even though if fans bail, if it doesn't sell, as long as it lasts 5 years or something, they can at least say,
Yeah, go out with their head held high.
We made it. We crossed, if they can make it through the whole gen, no matter how much money they lose, they can at least be excited about that.
Watch Anthem come back and be a 10 out of 10. Sorry.
Anthem next, do you think?
Yeah, it comes back, it's just amazing.
We'll see.
We will.
I am excited to have Michael Damiani on this podcast, because Damiani, you have played a lot of Nintendo games, and I have been to a lot of theme parks, and we now will put our powers combined to talk about a sneak peek, a very vague sneak peek that we got this week from a bunch of outlets for Super Nintendo World coming to Osaka, Universal Studios Japan on February 4th, 2021. And for those of you freaked out because you're like, a theme park, and now, don't go theme parks now. Japan's got it figured out. Japan's doing much better than the rest of the world. So I think they'll be okay. I'm not buying plane tickets. I'm not going to be going and checking this out. And of course, this is not like the first we've heard of this. We've seen pictures. These awesome people just like parachuting or going up on top of cranes or build. I don't know how they're getting these crazy shots of like things being animated and stuff. We got little glimpses, but they finally let press in to check this stuff out. And executive producer Thomas Garrity of Universal Creative announced the date. There have been pictures revealed.
Bowser statue, dude.
Describe these photographs to our audio listeners.
Okay, first of all, the wide shot of everything with like Bowser's castle there and just, you know, the whole Mario vibe. I had to pause because I thought I was looking at a video game.
Yeah, I didn't believe some of those shots were actually shots of the place. Yeah.
I did not believe it. Like, whatever wizardry they did, it looks like you are in the freaking Mushroom Kingdom. It looks incredible.
I like this. I like the second floor. I like that you're like up on the second floor looking down. I like that there's layers and layers. Of it.
And Bowser's castle just looks menacing. You go up this staircase.
That's where you start. No, like, here's the beginning of the Mario Kart line. You just go up these massive stairs leading up to the big Bowser statue.
So epic.
So you know, like the rides at Universal, like when they opened Harry Potter or the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, you know how many people took like photos and stuff in the Hogwarts line and stuff like that. I think now they like made it so like you got to stand to the side to do it so you don't hold up the lines. You know people are going to be like, there got to be signs like, please, there's the line to take photos. Don't disrupt the main line. And there could be so many people trying to take photos of like the carts and stuff.
Right, crawling in
I can't wait
Bowser's
for
mouth.
content creators and trying
Grabbing
to
his tail.
recording stuff. Like, dude, there's going to be so much nonsense going on because it looks so amazing. And the AR goggles, man, it's just Mario's hat with little glasses that come down. She could be wearing a little Mario cap going through there. Oh man, it looks good, and it's interesting that Japan's opening that soon. But you know what? Things turn out to be fine. It's coming. It's coming here. It's coming to Hollywood. It's coming to Orlando. We're gonna get that stuff, and I cannot wait to try it when everything is back to being safe and normal again.
Coming to Orlando in 2023, which sounds about right. I think we're all going to be
3 years. I'll wait 3 years.
By then, and we'll all be,
3 years.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Everything will hopefully be. Fingers crossed.
I wanna see the Mario Kart ride.
Yes.
I'm cool with it not being like go-karts. It's like a track ride, right? Like a space map. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a roller coaster. It's just you have I think it would be a little bit too much to have you try and steer an AR. They know people would crash into
It'd be out of control.
Like look at the Mario Kart Tour Live thing they made with the toys. How many people are driving off course? Like things going wrong. It's like that. Imagine that, but now you are literally in the car.
I mean,
I hope
go-karts.
there's.
You could have a go-kart thing, but yeah.
Yeah, but like, I think when you're into physical stuff and you see things like in front of you, like you're physically there. Even when you're like with especially kids, I don't know how young they're gonna let people be on, how tall you have to be, what age. Like when you have the goggles and stuff, and like it's if there's a competitive angle, if there's a score angle, you know what people get when they play Mario Kart and stuff. You're gonna get like tunnel vision at one point. You know people are gonna ram each other if they let you go free roaming and stuff. Someone would try and drive away with it. I'd be like, yo, collector's item, let's get out of here.
Mario
People
Kart.
would try and drive around to see if Lakitu comes down and tries to warn you if you're going backwards. There'd be so many people trying stuff. It'd be hilarious.
Tommyani finding the cheese
Yes.
in the Mario Kart ride, dude.
When we go there, I'm gonna be immediately. I'm gonna tell we should all go together. I'm gonna tell the dude who's like, let's go on. He goes, I'm gonna be. By the way, I'm gonna be testing for all the cheese strats immediately. He's gonna be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? And I will report back to him afterwards. Here are some patch notes. Here you go. No, let's review it, dude. Here,
Seriously, review.
Fix this stuff.
Do we know details regarding the ride? Like, are there items you can use? Because that would be
item
awesome.
boxes. Yeah, you get items, and you can do that.
You choose when to use like an item on. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
According to them, like people didn't ride this thing. They don't know specifically like how it works. Allegedly, they're like, oh yeah, what's the quote? Guests will race through the Mushroom Kingdom, steering their way around the track. Throwing shells at Koopa Lane, racing alongside Mario, Luigi, and Princess Peach. So you're throwing shells. You're winning this thing or losing.
Awesome.
It better not be a button. I want to be able to like AR mode, hold up the shell and throw it.
That'd be so awesome.
Or drop the banana peel back. Just doing that animation. They'll probably won't let you do that because people have to stick their hands out of the cart. They'll get yelled. You'll get yelled at.
It is not called the Mario Kart Ride. It's Koopa's Challenge. Is the official
best
name.
name.
Yeah, the best name. The best.
And even though you are in Bowser's Castle, I'm assuming it's not all going to be Bowser's Castle. And we saw the trailer. We saw like a CG recreation of it. I'm sure there will be some bright, sunny moments.
Damiani, is 2021 the year of Bowser? Because we have Koopa's Challenge and we have Bowser's Fury.
I knew you were going to say that. Is it time for Bowser to get his own 3D game?
Seriously?
After Bowser's Fury is the setup to Super Bowser's Odyssey.
I'll throw a wet towel on this, just because I have been a little bit dismayed over the years, specifically Universal's offerings, because they love the projection. They love building like 30% of it, and then the rest is all 3D, and you have the AR stuff. Typically, both of the Harry Potter rides that you can ride in Orlando, the bank ride we do not have here in Hollywood yet. I don't know if we're going to get that eventually. But a lot of that's 3D. The big thing here and the big thing that you can check out throughout the park is AR. That there's going to be added elements flying around, coming at you that are only going to be added from from a headset that you're going to have on the ride. But expect a lot of this to be projection. Expect, you to go buy a set, and then that set goes into a big screen, Transformer style, Spider-Man style, if you for anyone that's been to Islands of Adventure. And all of that's great and very exciting, but it's just, I'm sure a lot of people, there might be some kids, I'm sure, imagine, going to love it, but I can just see some of us older kids being like, oh, like a lot of that, a lot of that was just on a screen. And I've played Mario Kart on a screen before, and it's hilarious because we can't see this ever. They can't show us what this ride looks like ever. You cannot record this. You have to go on it.
They can make a video game footage of it.
And a lot, I guess you can kind of
render
show
of it. Like,
rough
you know
projections.
What? They're gonna bring the course into Mario Kart 8 or whatever the new
They
Mario Kart
so
is.
are,
It's
dude.
so gonna happen,
They
dude.
so are.
You know what? And then I understand, yes, like the 3D effects, but to quote Michael Huber, I refuse to believe Miyamoto will allow the quality to dip on that.
Yeah.
He will go through that and be like, nope, not good enough. Improve this.
Yeah, it seemed, and we've been hearing about this for so
Pikmin.
long, this world, it doesn't seem slapdash. It seems so thought out. The little shot they showed, again, of the park itself looked so good. But yeah, I know what you mean, Jones. Just those projector rides, I don't care for as much.
I'm just trying to set people's expectations. There will be a lot of virtual elements to this. Where you're like, you said physically. You used the P word, Damiani. There's not going to be a lot physically there, I think, aside from what you're looking at. But technologically, I think it's going to be a powerhouse. And the land itself, I didn't know the name of it before. It uses the Asobi system. After you purchase a power-up band, you can hit question blocks and collect coins. And there will be leaderboards so you can compare your coins.
Economy, dude?
Oh, yeah.
Real life?
Leaderboards, bro.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Dude, are there secret coins?
They're probably one-up mushrooms hidden around the place.
Dude!
Yeah.
We're going hunting, Huber.
Holy crap!
Galaxy's Edge is not right now because Disneyland's closed, but like Galaxy's Edge, you can go on quests and stuff that take you places. You can like deliver things for the Resistance or the
Day one, I'm going to
First
try
Order.
cheesing clipping tricks to see if there's a minus world secret somewhere. I'm going to find that.
You're in the backstage.
I'm in the backstage area. What's up, guys? Congrats. Where's my prize?
Yo, I'm looking for coins.
You're coming through coins. Thanks. Speaking of coins, dude, the shops. I cannot wait to see what merch they got in there.
Oh my god.
they're open.
Yeah.
The Mario Cafe and Store opened on October 16th, so they're already selling merch.
Over there. But
Over there,
we
yeah.
don't get this stuff. We don't have Nintendo World here.
Right.
Because that's in New York. We don't get like this stuff like they get over in Japan and in New York.
Yeah.
This when it opens the holiday, that's gonna be our first time to get that like sweet merch. That,
Same thing with Galaxy's Edge.
sweet,
There's only stuff in Galaxy's Edge that you can only buy there and on eBay, of course. Also, I'm curious to throw this to the team. Bloodworth, I'm curious your take on this. They also revealed, quote, Princess Peach's Castle and Yoshi's Adventure are two other attractions. They call them
Super
attractions.
Scope
I don't know if they're
6 time.
rides.
Let's go.
Yeah, so how's Princess Peach's Castle going to work, Blood? What's that attraction like?
As an attraction.
Yeah.
You better say the words. You better say the words, Blood.
We got to jump into a painting, right?
Yes, absolutely. Gotta replicate that experience, please.
There's like a
I don't
ball
know
pit
how that
at the
could
bottom.
work, but yeah.
I mean, if you go to in Disneyland, you can go meet princesses, and that's like, I guess, an attraction. But I'm curious to see Yoshi's Adventure, though. Gotta wonder. Bunch of different Yoshis, different colors. Just like Mr. Toad's
Yeah, I
Wild
wonder
Ride,
if if you'll actually get on a
Oh,
ride,
that'd
would
be
there be
so
an
great.
extendable tongue or not? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
you gotta punch it.
Do you
There's like
have
a
to
pillow in the
punch?
back.
Yes, you have to Yoshi. I see some like really angry kid. Stupid Yoshi, come on. Stick it out faster. I want to win. Oh my god.
But you're waiting for this, Damiani, right? You're not gonna, even if the
Oh,
world
yeah.
returns to normal,
I'm
you're
not
not.
gonna be dumb and risk going to you
Years
can't.
away.
We want to be allowed. We're not even allowed to go over there. So until everything is like cool and stuff, like there's like isn't there like travel restrictions? It's like you're a government official or something. So I mean, before all this, I was slightly considering maybe going over there for that opening, but it sounded like it wasn't gonna be too much longer for us to get it. So it's like maybe just wait and go to here, and yeah, it's a bummer. It's all delayed, but now like it'll be nice to see and get confirmation of stuff over there that's gonna be happening. Because one of two things: one, you get to see what I get to look forward to, and it's going to be amazing. But two, even if there's secret stuff, they're going to change it up for us. Like, that's the Nintendo way. It will be different. It won't be
Secret coins.
I cannot wait when it comes out everywhere to go to GameFAQs and look up the guides for this. I want to see the YouTube guides of how to get, like, the Game Explain video of how to find all the hidden coins.
The Harry Potter's Dangerous Journey or whatever, Forbidden Journey, the main ride that we got here is pretty carbon copy, but it's fun, like, noticing little things. Like, the Dementor room has, like, walls of Dementors where there's just, like, a handful of them in Florida. I don't know if they then changed that in Florida. I have not been back for a while. But, yeah, be interesting to see what we get.
I just
Obviously
feel
make
like,
comparisons.
Yeah, with Hollywood, I mean, I haven't been to Universal that many times, but, like, I just feel like Hollywood is so limited on space. That's why, like what you were saying, Brandon, with like so many things that are, hey, we can just put a screen up here. Okay, cool. let's do that because Hollywood doesn't have anywhere to put anything. Yeah, so I am curious, like how different Hollywood will be in terms of how many attractions they have compared to Japan and compared to Florida.
Waterworld Stunt Show, your time has come. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, there you go. So Jones, Galaxy's
does Waterworld?
Edge,
Sorry.
Galaxy's Edge has lightsabers.
Right?
Wizarding World has the robes and the wands.
The wands, big deal, yeah.
What are we getting? What are we getting at Super Nintendo
Get the
World?
power band. The power-up band.
No, what replica thing are
Like
we gonna get?
a Tanuki headband thing.
Tanuki headband?
Fireflower.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the puppet, or I guess you can get those online.
Jones, does Waterworld hold up?
It's fun. I mean, dude,
The
I'm
movie.
I'm old enough to
The
remember.
movie.
The movie is insane.
Okay, it's been like 20 years. I need to rewatch it.
It's it's pretty bonkers.
It holds up?
It's it's entertaining. It's pretty.
Okay.
It's pretty crazy though. Like the ending is okay. It gets kind of dull near the end, but like when they're in the that little like donut area where that little base, crazy. And Dennis Hopper having the time of his life.
Out
the
of
time
control.
of his life.
That's what I remember the most.
Yeah, he was absolutely enjoying absolutely every single minute of that. Rest in peace. And now, a word from our sponsor. Speaking of racing, the Logitech G923 True Force Sim Racing Wheel. As we speak, this racing wheel is on its way to Daniel Bloodworth. Does not have it.
Sick!
Is not in possession of it yet.
Yes!
Gotta know, Blood. What do you think is the first game you're gonna try out on the True Force Sim Racing Wheel?
I mean, the things that I haven't even looked into what this is compatible with. Is it multi-platform? What?
It's compatible with most racing games on PlayStation, Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, and PC, with select titles specially designed for True Force.
Got it.
You should go and research that stuff.
Yeah, so I'll have to research what's specially designed for True Force to get the real deal.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would like to check it out with Dirt 5, which I don't actually think has wheel support yet. I would like to check it out with Forza Horizon 4. Might be
F1?
worth re-downloading GT Sport. F1's a good call, although F1
Might be a different.
yeah, it's a little different, but yeah. I had it's been a long time since I've actually really used the wheel for any significant amount of time. I think Forza Motorsport 4 at GT, they sent this like huge heavy wooden crate that like not only had a wheel but like this like whole like metal like collapsible mount, so that like it was very sturdy. So that's my one concern is like how am I gonna set this thing up in a proper way? But before that, I had Logitech sent me a review unit for GameCube wheel. And Burnout 2, I played like pretty much all of Burnout 2 with that wheel. That was freaking amazing.
I'm hoping to see it like at the bottom of your frame, you know? I'm hoping like on the next podcast it'll just be there. It's like, what is that? You're like, I had to put it here on the desk. The award-winning Logitech G design is re-engineered to dial into your game physics, delivering unprecedented realism. You can feel the pistons pumping, the gravel crunching, and every shift, drift, and hairpin turn like never before. It has a programmable dual clutch, letting you get off the starting line faster with maximum traction and minimum smoke in supported games. Total wheel control, so you can control wheel sensitivity, change force feedback levels, and adjust button customization via powerful G-Hub gaming software for PC. A 24-point selector, RPM LEDs, integrated PlayStation, Xbox, or PC game controls, and a progressive brake spring. All help you maintain control of your vehicle at high speeds in supported games. Head over to logitechg.com to get your hands on your own G923 True Force Sim Racing Wheel today. And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you. We've been talking this whole year about how sales of video games are through the roof. You know, everything's Nintendo's breaking records. They're not even releasing new consoles this year. Everybody's doing fantastic. Curveball. According to Superdata, digital game spending from Black Friday through Cyber Monday reached $3.9 billion, down 10% year over year. NPD said Black Friday alone was down 18%.
That makes sense to me. Because when I go to a store on Black Friday, I haven't done it in a couple years now, but when I do, so many of my purchases are random. Oh, there's something. Oh, that's like 60% off. Grab that Blu-ray. Oh, grab that movie. So I think those sales being down might be a reflection of that. Like, how many times are you in a freaking Best Buy on a Black Friday and you just grab something?
You're looking for those stickers.
Yeah.
It's just
those
online. It is not the same kind of
the
vibe.
doorbusters. You get those doorbusters.
Yeah. So this was just like online comparison from the previous year. So
are you saying digital sales?
Digital.
Like digital
Just
sales?
Digital
Right.
only.
So, digital
but
only.
Black Friday in general was down 18%. Retail also?
Specific digital game spending from Black Friday through Cyber Monday.
Then
Okay.
I still agree with Huber. That's not surprising because I think video games have been enjoying a banner year because there's been so much demand to buy everything digitally that I think a lot of people have just already bought a lot of this stuff. So when it came time for Black Friday, it was like, oh, I got most of this stuff already. Or they only bought fewer things. I think people didn't hold off on some purchases until Black Friday. It's like, oh, there's a few games I've been waiting for. I'm going to wait for them to go on sale Black Friday. People are like, I'm bored out of my mind. I need to do stuff. I'm stuck at home. I'm going to buy this now. I'm going to go for it. Also, I think a bunch of sales were happening throughout the year just in general to try and capitalize on that. So I think it was a product of what was going on, honestly, if it was to be my best guess.
I think some thoughts potentially. Next gen just happened. People spend a lot of money on next gen, and
For some people. Yeah.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. It's like a lot of people either they bought that console or they're trying to buy that console, and like that's a huge chunk of money. That's not getting any Black Friday discounts anywhere, you know. And I also think the people that bought those systems also bought those games. There's so many games that came out that week, you know, and so many of them are pretty lengthy, you know, like Demon Souls took me a couple of weeks to get through, and that's one of the shorter ones, you know. Assassin's Creed is pretty long. Yeah. And, you know, Spider-Man isn't too bad, but, you know, it's just like there's so many different things that people are probably still playing from next gen. And then the other thing I kind of think is without that retail rush, I'm skeptical of how much power Black Friday has in general. I'm curious what the Black Friday arc was like overall compared to last year or whatever, rather than just looking at the digital games. Because I think the digital game sales, like, even though you're not going into a store to get that, it's all part of that fervor, right? So you're excited about Black Friday because of what you're going to get in the store and all the crazy deals. But this year, if you're not doing that, if you're not that excited about Black Friday to begin with, you're not looking for deals, and so you don't see this stuff as readily.
I agree.
One thing that Sony and Microsoft have been talking a lot about is, your cross-generation saves. We're all kind of tracking the dates of like when, Huber, you're playing Call of Duty, just like, when is this going to come out now versus next gen? What modes are going to be available when? Yakuza is not coming to PS5 until next year, and you have smart delivery. And I wonder if Sony and Microsoft are expecting these numbers to be higher because they've been saying so much. They're like, hey, jump in now, and then you just continue whenever. If you can't get the next gen consoles, doesn't mean you can't play these games now. And I guess this is evidence of people being like, yeah, I'll wait. I want to start this game on these new consoles. I don't want to start Valhalla now. I want to start it when I get my Series X or PlayStation 5.
Not to mention the freaking PlayStation Plus collection with like 20 freaking games and Game Pass with 100 games. It's like you're kind of set.
That is another great call.
What Black Friday deal is going to compete with Game Pass?
Super Data specifically said Game Pass ruined everything. But it's the reason why, a lot of people are like, I'm fine. I just don't need, I am fine waiting because it is that big of a deal. Because I'm seeing now what difference these consoles make, and I want that difference.
Is Game Pass just going to be Netflix soon? Where like people just don't even buy games. They got their Xbox, they got Game Pass. Like it pretty much is Netflix now if you have an Xbox, right?
It's funny, Huber.
It seems like it has that level of this is all I need. This is it. I've got my thing. I'm done.
There's a ton of third party that's not there though. EA just got in, so that's a big factor. But yeah, I think there's still so many games that are not on Game Pass and they're not going to, at least not permanently. So.
But Huber, I totally don't share your 4K Blu-ray passion. Like I'm just like Amazon Prime Video, Netflix, and Disney Plus. Those are like my three services that I just recycle, just bounce through. We were talking about Terminator Dark Fate right before. That was on Amazon. I was like, it's time. I didn't see it in theaters, didn't get by the DVD. But I am a game critic. I wonder if movie critics, that's how they look at games. Like people that are in the movie industry or in comics or something. It's like, oh, I got Game Pass, and like that's enough. Like it's enough to. Or like Blood was saying, I got this. With so many games I missed out on the PS4, and now that I got my PS5, like, oh my god, I got God of War for free. I got or all these things bundled in with my PS Plus account. So I guess it's not surprising. It seems surprising to a lot of analysts, and it was surprising to me because I was like a broken record every single week bringing up this record was broken. We'll talk about later. Animal Crossing's the fastest selling video game in Japan history. In Japan, it's number one ever. Fastest selling game. So it's weird to hit this notorious huge selling weekend. Got some fun stats, not necessarily NPD stats, Huber, but I got some fun stats. I'm curious for people to guess. The NPD group reported the average player spent how many hours per week playing games in 2020? How many hours per week?
Per week. All right, let's say 3 hours a day times 7, 21 hours.
Damiani, what do you think?
I'm going to go with... I would say I want to go 15 hours because I'm going to say 2 hours a day, 14, but I want to add an extra hour.
An extra hour? Okay. Bled, how's that sound?
I was actually sitting on 15 as well, yeah.
Oh, were you? It's 15. 15 hours per week.
Oh, nailed it, guys. Nailed it.
15% more than last year. Also worth noting, there was a PC games spending was up 6%, but this was offset by a 13% decline in console spending. Also, according to the NPD group, what percent of U.S. gamers played console games in 2020? What percent?
Wait, percent of
people playing video games are playing console games. Of everyone playing,
that feels like a weird thing because like
98%
play. Like I don't know, it's weird. I feel like when you get into these stats, there's a lot of people that play multiple things. Mm-hmm. Oh, let's see. I will go with
mobile. I imagine is factored into this as well. So
Yeah, that's what I'm
Mobile's
thinking.
going to take a big chunk out
I'm
of this
thinking
puppy.
like 38% or something like that.
41, very close.
Bloodworth.
Up 6%.
Nice.
Yeah, Blood's feeling it. Or cheating. And all of the analysts wanted to say, it's like, yeah, the fervor might have died down right now, but people are still melting servers at sites like Newegg to try to get the new graphics cards. So it's like, we talk about digital video game sales. You know, the gaming spending is still, all over the place.
There should have been a Cyberpunk bundle with 3080s that you could buy.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Dude,
be.
Sure.
you know what? 3080 is another reason Black Friday was so bad. They're just non-existent. They're gone. Scalpers. Blame scalpers for bad digital Black Friday. There you go.
Do you think digital sales are going to surge before the end of the year? Do you think people, once they get past the holidays, they still don't have the next-gen console, and then they're broken? They're like, fine, I'll buy Miles Morales for PS4. Or do you think they're still going to hold out? Like, no, I'll wait until next year to play these next-gen games.
I think they'll wait. Because, I just think they'll wait. You've come this far. Just wait a little longer.
And game sales are one thing. Console sales are one thing. Obviously, all of this is stunted, of course, by the fact that people can't get these two brand new consoles. Love to talk about ad spending. According to Media Radar, ad spending was up 80% year over year during the first 2 weeks of November leading up to this. $45 million across all of ad spending for video games, up 80%.
Wow.
Sony spent $7.3 million on ads. Microsoft spent $3 million on ads. And Nintendo spent $1.6 in that time. 138% more money during November 2nd through the 15th than the 2 weeks prior. So Nintendo's not just coasting. They wanted
That's
it.
interesting. That's interesting, though. Sony, look how much they spent.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
Yeah.
More than both of them combined, right?
Yeah, more than double of what Xbox did.
Big spend.
Wow.
So, but if your
Does
Xbox,
that,
if your Xbox would spending 4.3 more, would that be a smart call? Would you really see a return on that investment, or?
I don't know. It makes me question why Sony would spend that much more than Xbox, because it's the same kind of question. Are you getting more sales because you've spent $3 or $4 million more? I don't.
Yeah, I wonder if it's
It's above me.
Yeah, is it perception? The whole brand image that Sony is. It's professional. It's mature. It's what is the word I'm looking for? When you select stuff for people. Geez, starts with a C. Why can't I remember this
Curated?
damn word? Curated, thank you. It's
Nice.
it's very curated. The games they pick. It's it's look at their new Sony the PlayStation Studios logo. It's Marvel 2.0. It's
Yeah.
big budget.
Mature.
Bringing
Yeah,
up
it's
Miles Morales was interesting. What's this thing? Yeah.
Yeah, they're just you know what? If you're a mature adult and you want to play games, you want to feel good about it, that's who we are. We're for the intellectual person. So
Oh boy. Michael Huber, film buff. Do you know who Aardman is?
Aardman.
Aardman. Aardman. Oh, you
Really?
know who Aardman is? Oh,
No.
Makes me sad. Huber, we brought up Suspiria last week, and people were offended. They didn't. Some people on the podcast, or it might have been 2 weeks ago. So you don't know what Suspiria is? Yeah.
Oh, Dario Argento.
I know.
Classic.
It's a Dario Argento, and some people.
Yeah.
Your boy Brad didn't know. You got some education to do.
Yep, don't know that. I was like,
Brad likes movies, but he doesn't love movies.
Right.
Like that, yeah.
Have you ever heard of Wallace and Gromit?
Of course.
Chicken Run.
Yes.
Shaun the Sheep. This is
No.
all okay. This is all Aardman.
Aardman did Wallace and Gromit?
Aardman, yeah, that was there. Yeah.
Well, then I know Aardman.
you
Yeah,
go.
I loved Wallace and Gromit growing up.
Missing
the
link.
wrong trousers.
The wrong Gromit. The wrong trousers. Okay, you're redeemed. You're redeemed.
Yes,
And last year they did The Missing Link, which was nominated for an Academy Award. So they're doing well over that UK animation studio.
They were involved in Missing Link? That was Leica, wasn't it?
I double checked. Oh, live correction.
Unless they collaborated on it somehow.
Maybe they did. Maybe they did. Do live corrections. Do. Sorry.
Aardman.
Maybe
I thought
they
it was a
did.
Metal Gear.
They did.
Aardman. It sounds like a Metal Gear character. Aardman.
Sorry.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm not saying. Sorry, my bad. Boy, am I going to cut that out of the podcast. No, I'll leave it in. Just like I said, blood is eerily accurate. They had a movie called Early Man that I think I might have been confusing that with. Also about cavemen. So,
very,
but I
very
was like,
strange.
but they also did, and they are collaborating with Bandai Namco for a brand new IP. They had previously collaborated with Bandai Namco for a game called 1111 Memories Retold in 2018, a mostly narrative-driven game set during World War I.
know it.
Yeah, I did not know it either. Looks like it was made in Dreams. It's a very Dreams-esque experience. Again, very narratively focused. It was Aardman's first commercial video game. Worth noting that Wallace and Gromit has been in video games before. There have been video games made of Aardman products, but this is them specifically getting in. Aardman's managing director Sean Clark said, "Interactive entertainment is a huge growth area within the entertainment world, with new emerging technology blurring the lines of watching and playing. We are keen to develop strategic partnerships with partners such as Bandai Namco Entertainment Europe that share our vision of creating new IPs that embrace this world and cement our studio's reputation as a multidisciplinary creative hub." And this reminds
I think emerging technologies is number one PR lingo.
Sure.
If we did top 10 PR phrases, emerging technologies is number one.
It's funny too to see them be like, "Hey, interactive entertainment, it's really blowing up." Like, yeah. It is.
Don't say.
It's
Huh?
good for you. Good for you to know. But I'm curious to throw at the team, Damiani. I want to go to you because this reminded me of Level 5 in Studio Ghibli for Ni no Kuni. For a studio very talented at making a particular type of game, adopting an art style of another studio, and it's curious to see because you see 1111, it just doesn't have that Aardman flair. It doesn't necessarily remind you of the work that they do, so it's gonna be interesting to see if we get a new IP from them that looks like their particular art style. You kind of winced when I mentioned Ni no Kuni. Is there sour taste?
No. I mean,
one rules.
The fact that the commitment. If you're making one-off game, I think it's fine. If you're trying to make a series, that's what happened in Ni no Kuni. Ghibli bailed. Like they only committed to one game, so you lost that. They tried to make the in-game stuff look as close and as faithful to that, but it lost a bit of that charm. Even in the film they made of it that I watched, it's not animated by Ghibli as well, so it's still nice animation. But that was kind of what I think that was part of the special sauce of that game. It made it such a big event. And if you're going for something like Wallace and Gromit, if they get the commitment for the first game, let's say it's a hit or people want another one, and let's say that partnership dissolves and they can't quite use the same stuff anymore, like they have to do an imitation, does that not work out as well? Do people see through the veil and say, okay, this is authentic anymore? I was on board, when Aardman was the studio though, or their involvement with Bandai Namco, but now that they've kind of parted ways, that would be my fear essentially. Though the other part of the wince though is when you said it was Wallace and Gromit, and that's the style they might be going for this game. You do know Studio Ghibli just released their trailer for their first CG movie. And it kind of it's like knockoff Pixar looking, like it's, I don't know. So CG is just conjure up like, oh no, like Ghibli and CG. Just saw that. I was like, it's so weird to see it. But anyway, yeah, that I mean, it could be something special for sure. It's just I've been being burned by that once before.
Right.
It would be unfortunate if they don't try and make it work and continue if it finds success.
Worth noting that character designer Yoshiyuki Momose and composer Joe Hisaishi also worked on Ni no Kuni 2 from Ghibli. So the studio did not work with them, but just curious to see because it's interesting, specifically animation studios, because we get the DreamWorks makes games, but specifically animation studios, it's interesting to see them adopt their style for games for a new IP, because there's a lot of companies a lot of animation studios aren't making games like. What's the big animation studio that does the thing? Disney, that just aren't really in the market anymore. So it's interesting.
Clip it.
Oh boy.
Now they got Huber here, I'm gonna do one last little headline. Huber, did you know that Travis Scott earned $20 million from his concert in Fortnite? 20 million.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
For that was like a one-off.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. This is apparently adding up what I'm guessing he was paid by Epic. They said that it was including merchandise, but I'm like, merchandise plus, I'm guessing, the paycheck that he got from Epic. So I would love to know that split. Probably will never learn it. For reference, a record-grossing concert on Travis Scott's Astral World concert tour last year made him $1.7 million in one night. The full Astral World tour grossed $53.5 million.
Okay.
So he made almost half what he made
of
for
an
entire
tour. Yeah.
Wow.
What's crazy about
One
that
event in
is
Fortnite.
Wow.
you don't buy tickets, right? You just load up Fortnite, don't you?
Yeah, there might have been a skin. I don't know.
There was
I didn't
merchandise. Yeah, there's stuff that you could buy. You didn't
Yeah.
have to buy it. I
didn't participate in that.
Buy the merch.
I bought Kratos today, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's yeah. You does it surprise you, Huber? I mean, it's
That seems like a really high amount. It makes me wonder a lot of things. It makes me wonder how much other people are making for putting their things in Fortnite. Like how much did Disney Star Wars get? What's the percentage there? How much does Sony get for Kratos? Are these deals made beforehand, or is it like a one-time fee? Do you think they paid Sony for Kratos and that's it, or if it's like they pay him a fee and then they also get a percentage? So
they definitely get a percentage on every one of those Kratos skins. But yeah, there's probably an upfront as well, just to get it started.
I would just love if all that was transparent, because that stuff interests me.
And, this was kind of the perfect storm. This happened in April. So it's just like when all of the lockdowns happened. And so all these concert events were being canceled right and left. And 27.7 million unique players participated live, according to Fortnite, and 12 million people watched
so
it.
27 million players.
Unique players in the game.
$20 million.
Yes.
So he got, like 70 cents per player or something like that?
But again, they're not all buying stuff. Huber, did you watch it, Huber?
The Travis Scott one, no.
But you didn't buy anything either. So they didn't get Huber.
They didn't get me.
Which brings me to my next question. Who would? Not Star Wars characters, not a fictional character. What living musical artist could perform in Fortnite and get at least your viewership?
Stormzy, 100% Stormzy.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yep, be there day one. Anything Stormzy's selling, I'm buying.
And apparently Epic and Scott worked on the event for months. Epic visited him multiple times at his Hollywood studio, and they found they all agreed mutually on the set. I believe it was a 9-minute concert. Again, $20 million for 9 minutes.
So wild. It makes me wonder how much Epic made. Is that revealed? If they're cutting a check for $20 million to Travis Scott, how much are they keeping?
Right. Yeah, I mean, it probably wasn't that much compared to him for this one specific event, but again, they're in it for the long term.
Yeah.
They're in it. You got to pay those legal bills somehow for this year. And it just, but because it was such a perfect storm, Huber, I wonder if we're going to see like a ton of this. I wonder if this is that enticing to other artists, or if other artists are just like, I mean, that's Travis. We can't. He's like making McDonald's look good. This guy's doing really crazy things that I don't know if everyone else is capable of.
Yeah, I mean, there's that question of, how much of it is the fact that it's an event and it's unusual compared to, if every Saturday night there's somebody else there, like open mic night. Are you going to attract those fans, or are you just getting that like convergence of Fortnite is really huge, and so all of these Fortnite players are going to show up, even if they're not big fans. They're just familiar enough with them to say, hey, that's cool, it's free, I can't go out tonight, okay, I'll check it out. So
it's been crazy watching Fortnite grow. This is nuts. Just all, like it feels like unlimited and infinite possibilities. Like there's nothing too big for Fortnite now. They could get anyone or anything in their game if they make a phone call. Like Mickey Mouse could freaking show up in Fortnite.
Well, he probably will, because he had Marvel, and then now you have Star Wars, and then the Disney princesses are coming.
It's coming.
Next. Come on now. Frozen's coming to Fortnite. Come on.
Yeah. It's wild.
Let's not pretend.
It's so wild.
Also this week, look out, Sony is perma-banning people that sell their PS5, PS Plus collections to PS4 owners. So if you log in to your profile, this unlocks these on your PS4. So if you have a PS5 and you get the PS collection, and then you log in your PS4, you still have access to these games. People are selling that access that they get through their account on their PS5 to people who have PS4s, so that people get all the free games, even though they don't have a PS5, they only have a PS4. Sony's not happy about it. They are perma-banning people.
I have no idea how you track that, but okay.
Interesting.
Sony's happy to track it.
How do you track the person that sells it versus the person that just logs into their PS4?
eBay, probably.
Yeah.
Sega's
eBay.
Hiroyuki Miyazaki showed off the prototype of the Genesis Nomad for the first time. Ben Moore is not with us tonight, but I got a quote from him. I owned and played the absolute ever-loving shit out of Nomad. And it was called the Venus, I believe. It was an interesting prototype. Some people said it actually looked better than the final prototype.
It looked cool. Yeah, the color of it was.
This is the portable Genesis that played Genesis games, and you could plug it into the TV, which was huge at the time.
Yeah, I
video.
saw a little bit of that Sega stuff fly by my feed, but I didn't get to dig into it.
The Switch before the Switch.
Swery's next game, The Good Life, where you play as a cat.
Good life.
Will launch in summer 2021, and it will be published by the Irregular Corporation. Genshin Impact.
It has that signature sweary frame rate.
It does.
Oh.
Ching. Genshin Impact won both Apple and Google Play's Best Game of 2020 mobile. Best mobile game of 2020.
Interesting.
Oh,
So here
yeah,
it
in
doesn't
terms
run
of
well
mobile
on
games,
mobile unless you have like
seems like
a
an easy one,
beefy one.
Animal Crossing New Horizons, as I mentioned, topped 6 million sales in Japan. The first since New Super Mario Bros. To do so. The fastest ever to hit that goal. Fastest selling game in Japan ever. Huber? Sorry?
I was just thinking about Genshin. That seems weird. I can't imagine. It seems like that game was so big that it just won by default. I imagine. I don't know, but there's got to be some mobile exclusive game out there that's better than Genshin, right? That's just, I don't know. That's weird.
Beat Call of Duty. Take that, Call of Duty. Here comes Genshin
Right.
Impact. Yeah. The Guardian published an article further exploring inverted controls, which I don't need that information. Blood doesn't need that information, but other people, it's good to know. We talked about mental health last week. Now we're talking about other potential changes, other things. Left hand, right-handed. We're all gamers. Despite reports from other people and this podcast, Doom Eternal is coming to the Switch. On the 8th, in fact, is the physical version that got canceled. So that's why people were ringing GameStops and telling them it's not coming to you, but it will be coming to players. Speaking of Doom Eternal, that and Control are coming to Game Pass. Two pretty good gets for your Game Pass subscription. An NPD report says that spending on games rose more than 70% in the coveted 45 to 64 age range this year.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Still got a couple more years before I'm in that range, but I'll let you know how it's going when I get there. The online mode of Watch Dogs Legion has been delayed to 2021. Avalanche Studios...
Are we going to play that, Jones?
Are we? I mean, were you? Am I? I got
I
it.
liked
I got it on PC. I'm ready to go. I can, if it launched today, I could play it right now. Do you own Watch Dogs Legion? Are you playing Legion?
I have Watch Dogs Legion.
Well then, what do you got it on though? What do you got it on your
PlayStation?
See, I got it on PC. I don't know. We'll see.
Damn it. Maybe there's crossplay.
We'll see how Legion works. I bet they got high hopes. I'm not basing this on anything. I hope Ubisoft is not expecting GT Online numbers. Not even Red Dead is giving them GT Online numbers. People are pissed about that new Red Dead update. GT Online, 7 years old, gets a new island. Red Dead gets some horses.
A bounty hunter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so very clear which game they're focused on. Avalanche Studios co-founder formed Liquid Swords to make, quote, open world action games. Yes! Avalanche Studios, of course, making the Mad Max, making the Just Cause games over there. Love their stuff. Sea of Thieves is getting seasons and a battle pass in 2021, which seems very appropriate.
Yeah, that does. I'm surprised they don't have that already. That's smart. That's good.
It was like we were talking about Fortnite is getting an annual subscription. It's just like it didn't have one. That seems like it's so Fortnite. A VR mode. I think I knew about this and just filed it away. A VR mode is coming to Flight Simulator on December 23rd. We knew about this all year, but we didn't know the date. We also didn't know. They said it was only going to launch on specific VR platforms and then everything else later. They've changed their tune. They said it's going to be on Oculus. It's going to be on the Index. It's going to be on everything.
Oh, okay.
VR and Flight Simulator.
Super Mario Land In-flight simulator.
Oh, fly over
You
it.
can fly to
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's still if you fly over Disneyland, Huber, they're still building Galaxy's Edge, so might take a little bit
Got it.
before we get that in there. Market analyst Omdia said 6.4 million VR headsets are sold in 2020, spending past $1 billion. So no one is no one's completely happy with how well VR is doing, but VR is still selling. Rocksteady Studios drops some new skins into Batman Arkham Knight today.
What?
Yep, new skins.
I saw
baby.
one of them.
What
but yeah, it's
skins?
crazy.
I don't know, man.
What are they?
What?
One is like an anime. I think it's literally called an anime skin. I think that's like what they refer to as some crazy multicolored.
What?
Yeah, what are these? Huber?
Arkham Knight still getting skins in 2020.
Dude.
And Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the movie, is expected to start filming in March and finish in May. Shooting in 2021. Get hyped. It is time for Love
Oh,
and
the
Respect.
Zurin. They have the Zurin.
I knew it. I did
Sorry.
it anyway. I knew it, and I did it anyway. I started it, and I could see the glow of the monitor in your eyes.
These
I could see
these
your
are
intent.
old. These ones are old. They just are releasing for everyone. I think you had to do something to get them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I have both of these.
Releasing them.
Huh.
They're now free now.
Yeah.
We'll pay, but yeah.
Thank you for the clarification. It is now time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect.
From Michelle Jackson, hello allies. I work retail on Black Friday. The store I
boy.
work sells gift cards and was offering a rewards point incentive for purchasing them. After we closed, I decided to take note of how many gaming related gift cards we had sold. I would like the panel to guess what percentage of stock we had left of the following gift cards after Black Friday. They were fully stocked at the start of the day. I've rounded to increments of 5%. I'm going to throw these at different people, okay? Huber, you're
Okay.
up first.
Okay.
PlayStation Store, how many left?
Percentage left.
In 5% increments. So 5, 10,
15%.
15% left.
Yeah.
PlayStation Store, 90% left.
Ooh.
PlayStation
Whoa.
Plus. PlayStation Plus gift cards,
95% left.
40% left.
Oh, because there was probably a damn PS Plus sale always on Black Friday. Damn it.
PlayStation Now,
100% left. 100%.
60%.
Wow.
People digging that. But you imagine it sounds good, that idea. Where look at all these games that they can get.
Yeah.
Crack open their new console and play all these games. Fortnite V-Bucks in denominations of $10 to $25.
0% left.
20%, but a lot. So the lowest number so far. Again, the lower the better. Michael Damiani, Nintendo Switch Online 12-month membership,
50%.
15%
Wow.
left.
Okay.
Nintendo
Damn.
eShop $10 to $50 denominations,
30%.
70.
Dang.
Way more people buying that Switch Online because you need it. You know, that's just like batteries.
Don't need it for Fortnite.
For a new race car. Don't need it for Fortnite. There
Don't
you
need
go.
it for Fortnite.
And finally, Daniel Bloodworth, Xbox Live Gold, 3 months to 12 months.
Ooh, gold.
Xbox Live Gold,
85?
60% remaining. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for 1 month,
This is interesting.
30%.
50.
Oh.
Yeah, didn't sell that well. And Roblox bucks, $10 to $100 in denomination. A C note of Roblox money.
What is Roblox?
10%.
90%. Nobody's buying that. Nobody's buying
Okay.
Roblox. It's surprising though. I'm curious if they had Minecraft cards at all. But thank you, Michelle, for that very honest portrayal of the gift card community. From Beaten Down Brian, hey allies, can you kill 10 rats for me? Or maybe you'd collect 10 purple flowers instead. These are things I feel we've all been asked to do in games, but why do bad side quests like this still exist? I know the simple answer might be that they're easy to design and they help extend the life of the game, but is there really any value in that? For me, 100 hours of gameplay is no longer the selling point it once was. In fact, it's usually off-putting to hear. While many will argue that this is aimed at the people who will only buy 1 or 2 games a year, I find this argument flawed as we have the stats to show most people will never finish the games they start. Surely developers must recognize how frustrating, boring, or repetitive side content can be. And I guess my real question here is why not focus on a handful of meaningful and memorable side quests over a slew of dull ones? Love and respect, Beaten Down Brian.
Valhalla. Assassin's Creed Valhalla does this. It's a 100-hour game. It's too long. About game length, this has been coming up lately.
What's some snake eggs?
Yeah, just game length has been coming up, and it's like it's just the harsh reality. I'm personally not in college anymore, or school, so I don't have as much free time. Games are too long. They're too long. Weird rant.
I'm getting all these dots, man.
You know what?
I'm getting them all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't, in an odd way, it kind of doesn't matter how many people finish the game if they've bought the game.
True.
Of course.
True.
Yeah, for developers,
and
they're not crying, but
And that's the thing where it's, the 100 hours, it sounds like a deterrent for us in our 30s and 40s.
Mm-hmm.
That's the quote unquote, oh, that's worth $60.
Yeah,
You-
I still
you know?
think it. I still think it does make the purchase of a game easier, kind of. Mm-hmm. Where I feel like maybe even if I know I'm not going to be able to put all my time into it, knowing how long it is like more value, I suppose. So
Right.
it's like, oh, okay, I'll just buy that. Yeah. But yeah, big shout out to Valhalla for doing less, more meaningful side quests.
I'm still stuck on the making trash talking hunting, like killing some 10 rats or rodents or whatever. Yo, on the enemy designers, 10 rats in random MMO, sure, 5 hits, they're dead. 10 rats in a sewer in Dark Souls 3, wreck my life.
Plague and poison.
Get out of here.
Yo, rats in what's that game? What's that game I'm thinking of? A Plague Tale.
Oh,
oh
sure.
yeah, there's no That
Or I
was-
think of rats in Final Fantasy 12, that like hunt in the sewer.
If you only see 10 rats in Plague Tale, you're having a good time.
Yeah. I also think there's like a big difference now because you talk about Valhalla, Huber, and a lot of that stuff's like I get it and then I take it back. No one's like asking me to go get this and then I grab it. Like that seems extremely archaic. Where it's like you got to talk to a person, then go do a thing, and then come back. You talked about the snake eggs, Blood, but like they're right there. That's like a very very short request. Where classic Warcraft was just like, oh, the stupid thing that I got to do. So I think RPGs and stuff like that are getting a little bit better, which is like, do the thing first, then come back. Mm-hmm. Also a fan of it working both ways, that I can do the objective first and then bump into the guy that needs it. And then when they ask, I'm like, oh, I got it. It's in my inventory right now, actually. As opposed to like, the thing won't be there. Huber, that's a problem with Valhalla, is like I'll see the gold circle shining with my detective vision. And I'm like, how the hell I get in here? And then I'll check and they're like, oh, you got to do the quest. And then they open the door and it's like, then don't
that's the worst.
show me what's in there. If
Totally.
I can't get it.
Right.
Witcher 3 though, I always cut you off. I just always do it. I'm sorry.
No, I need it. I need to know what you're about to say, Huber.
Just Witcher 3, I feel like was that moment when side quests were forever changed. I feel like that changed the standard
Yeah.
of side objectives in big open worlds. That's all.
Yeah, Cyberpunk, you're not even going to know if you're on a side quest. You're like, what even was
Yeah.
What even are the side quests? I'm just hanging out with my buddies and running a business over here. From Presented in Mono. Hi, Elias. You ready to open a can of worms? Worms Rumble just came out, and I'm having a blast with it. And it got me thinking about how many Worms games there are. So many, in fact. And I'm not sure I could name all the entries. Below are 10 games. Are they worms? Or are they frauds?
Okay.
Worms WMD.
That's real.
That's real.
Tis. Worms War Room.
That's fake.
Sounds fake.
Worms, it is fake. Worms Fallout.
Fake.
Fake?
You're gonna sweep this, Huber. So
I
confident.
love worms.
Worms Big Red Button.
Real.
Real. No.
Gotcha.
Damn
Yeah.
it.
Spoke too soon.
Big
Worms.
Red Button's a developer, so that's where
Yeah. Yep.
Worms Crazy Golf.
I think so.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
think so.
yeah.
It's not
Let's
an
say
answer.
yes.
Yeah. Let's go with blood.
It's real. Worms Thermonuclear.
Fake.
Real.
Damiani's just not playing this.
No, like Huber. I thought Huber's going to sweep this.
No.
Nah.
I was like, when? Huber's got this. We're going.
Huber got that one. That's not real. Worms A Space Oddity.
That sounds real. Yeah, I think I remember that.
Okay, real.
I'm gonna go fake on that one.
It's real, Huber.
Damn it.
Worms Armageddon.
Hell
come on.
yeah.
That's
Real.
yeah, it's classic.
The
dude.
most real.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What console?
That's it. That
Hell
is-
yeah.
that's
I
PC,
might have to
man.
play this tonight. Was it PC?
Yeah.
I can get that. on
Worms
PC?
Yeah, you gotta.
Armageddon.
Yeah,
That's the one. That's the one we're waiting
that
for.
is the game.
You heard it here.
It's the worm.
Worms World Party.
Yep. I
Isn't it
remember
like World
Wow.
Tour? It is World Party? Okay.
The real one?
Bloodworth.
Jeez,
confidence.
Blood, the
Yeah.
real worm expert.
Yeah, Bloodworth.
It's real. Finally, Worms Boom.
Please be real.
I don't
That sounds like a
remember that.
mobile one,
Please be
dude.
real.
It's
Could
a
be.
good call that it was mobile. It's not real. It's not real.
Aw, worms, boom.
Get out of here. From Samwise Game Geek. Hey, Allies, quick question. What's your most memorable boss battle? For me, it was beating Seymour in Final Fantasy X. Him saying death awaits you and killing my summons still haunts my dreams. So beating him was very satisfying.
I have 1 million. I can't, like, come on.
Just throw it out.
Most memorable.
Nothing tops Arthas for me. Nothing tops Arthas. Arthas was... and the end of
I have
Fallen
a
Order.
million.
The end of Fallen Order last year. Oof, didn't think I was going to be able to finish that one. So I'll leave it there. I don't want to specifically say how that game ends, but that was toughy.
Bowser in Super Mario 3, Ornstein and Smo, Dark Souls 1, the boss, MGS 3, to name a few. Birkin, obviously.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man, such good ones. Like
Yeah.
Psycho Mantis, always gonna stick
Psycho
out
Mantis,
for the
so
like.
good.
Yeah.
So good.
Have you seen the comparisons between Judge Dredd and Resident Evil?
No.
Judge Dredd came out in 1995. Resident Evil
Yeah.
came out in 1996.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy, especially at the end, because you're like at the clones.
Yeah.
When he goes, all my brothers,
Yeah.
like they're standing in front of it, and shot for shot, it's like they're tyrants. It's literally like, and there's one shot of Stallone with the gun that they're like, that's him on the cover of the PS1 box. Somebody tweeted it.
Okay, I gotta
Pretty
watch
funny.
the original Judge Dredd,
Oh my
alright?
gosh.
See, maybe just Google it first, and because it's the images are side by side. I don't know if you want to do that to yourself.
I definitely have to go. Okay, so I definitely have to go with the final Ganondorf fight in Ocarina of
Twilight
Time.
Princess.
Okay, time. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Twilight Princess is good, but I don't think it's as memorable. And then
just like the batting
yeah,
cages.
Just losing your sword, man. It was like knocks your sword away. It's like
yeah, just that idea, because before Ganon was always a monster, and then this showing the moment that it happens, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
yeah.
Finally, from Faraz Rizvi. Hello, allies. Currently, as of writing this question, PlayStation Store downloads and transfer of data and games from another console to the Vita don't work. What this means is you cannot download any games you own on a Vita currently. This has been broken for over a day at this point. This issue makes me fear for our digital future, especially in regards to
I think
Sony
it
and
got
Nintendo.
fixed today, but yeah.
Good, thank you for the update. We are being pushed to buy all the digital, yet we lose access to all of our purchases on a whim. Ironically, in this case, piracy is literally the only option, I guess if you want to put it that way, to get your own games onto the console until Sony fixes this. So my question is, what can we do to make sure companies keep our digital libraries, or is there no hope? And we are at the mercy of the
First
console
of all,
makers.
clarification: if you already own the software and you're just putting it on a system by bypassing stuff, that's jailbreaking. That's not technically piracy. If you own the thing, if it's a game you bought for and just putting on a system it's supposed to be on, you're just circumventing. That's jail. You broke it. You broke the closed system so that you can make it open and put it on there.
Whenever we talk about what is and what is not piracy on this podcast, people have comments.
It gets a little muddy. If you're getting a
big paragraphs next week.
Like it's
an
it's,
ISO or something somebody else ripped, it might have a fingerprint of something
No, yeah,
that's not supposed to be there.
I'm saying if he can not reauthorize, but recreate the ability to transfer it over. So he actually has it on a system, the legit copy on a system digitally, and then finds a way to transfer it over by jailbreaking the system so it's so like they can talk to each other and work.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. If he's pulling the file from somewhere, yes, you're now in the murky gray area. And then if you completely just rip it, that's 100% piracy. But piracy generally tends to go with software, the software end of it. Like you obtain something and you don't actually, it's not a legitimate copy and you don't own it. That's when you get to murky. But like finding ways to like do hardware stuff and modification, it really depends on some of the stuff. Like Yeah, I can't give you all and all, but like most of that stuff, like emulators are mostly legal. If you reverse engineered them and did them yourself, and you don't use any copyrighted code, BIOS from PlayStation stuff, you I got to make that clear. That's not legal whatsoever. Then you're in the fine usually. But I mean, the more complicated seems. I'll be honest. To be fair, this seems a little bit more complicated, so there might be some crap in there that's like technically it's not allowed. I'm thinking of, but the concept of it has already been done before. But that sucks. To answer the question though, I just don't. I buy a lot of things digitally now. I do buy games more games digitally. If it's something I truly care about, I will buy a physical copy of it still. Even if I buy digitally and physical, I'm keeping that physical copy because I want to be able to play that no matter what, under any circumstance. I'm not going to trust that to the digital future.
Yeah, my absolute obsession games, gotta buy physical. Just in case, just have.
Well, I mean, you guys, Damiani in particular, knows my whole ordeal with the Wii Virtual Console.
Yeah.
You know, like downloaded hundreds of games. I think like 400 plus something games that we had purchased all the years game trailers, and then backed them up to my PC and backed them up to a cloud drive. But then I had sent my Wii U's in for repairs, and even though like they transferred my profile or whatever to them, all that stuff that I backed up, it didn't recognize it as the same Wii. So then I had to download it all again and back it up again.
Gotta go through the process twice, man.
But you got them though. You still got them, right?
I've got them, but it was
okay.
It was like a week long process both times.
Roller coaster.
I remember that. I do remember that.
Jeez.
Do any of us have a digital PS5, or do all of us have the disc?
No.
There's a disc drive.
Ian, maybe?
Because we were talking about our issues that we had with the
think Ian
PS5,
knows.
and some people were curious. They're like, I'm curious if that's a disc thing versus a regular PS5 thing. Those wonky PS5s. Speaking of not being able to play digital content, if the console doesn't work, that's also an issue.
Yeah. There you go.
It is time for bets. Next week's bet, Cyberpunk 2077 launches on December 10th. Did you know this? You aware? How many times are they going to
sneaking up?
How many times are they going to tweet from @CyberpunkGame between now and the next podcast? No replies or retweets. These are original tweets. For reference, they tweeted 4 times already today by the time we began the recording of the podcast. Michael Huber.
36 times.
Ooh. That's a lot of tweets. Michael Damiani.
It's time.
Oh, close, Hubert. I did 33.
Nice.
Daniel Bloodworth.
I also did 33.
What is this today?
Wow.
Okay.
Cease this.
Jones, hope
I
you're
did-
lower than me.
yeah, I did 25.
Yeah, I got the high. I got the high.
It went down though, so I might be doing lots of retweeting and replies. And
That
stuff.
counts, right?
No,
A retweet
no,
I
counts.
no.
just
he
said
said it
no
does not
replies or
count.
retweets, dude.
No retweets.
And that's always the case.
It's
man.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, gosh.
It's fine.
Yeah, if that's the case, then they replied and retweeted like 10 times today. Okay. Last week's bet on December 1st, Galactus descended upon Fortnite. What'd you think, Hubert? Did you have fun? Was that a good time?
It was cool. Yeah, it was cool. Just a new way to play Fortnite again.
pretty
It was
wild,
turned
yeah.
into a arcade shooter.
It was its own thing. Definitely, people can't play that now and couldn't before.
Yeah.
You had to be there. I wanted to know how many people were going to watch that sucker just on Twitch at its peak. 2.3 million viewers was the current Twitch record by Fortnite. Daniel Bloodworth bet 1.6 million. Michael Damiani bet 1.5 million. Brad Ellis bet 1.7 million, putting Blood right in the middle there. I bet 1.9. It was tricky getting this number because Fortnite was very, very public with saying that 3.4 million people watched across YouTube and Twitch. Just wanted the Twitch number, though. Learn my lesson.
Oh.
Next time, we got to put both of those together because, of course, Fortnite and Epic, they want that big number. But then when I went to Sully Gnome, which tracks Twitch numbers, who had a screenshot and tracked the actual traffic, according to Sully Gnome, just over 1.6 million people watched on Twitch, which means more people watched on YouTube. And also means Daniel Bloodworth won that bet.
Yeah.
Daniel Bloodworth.
What?
Bringing our scores to Jovial Penguins 20. Astonished Scorpions, 17.
Ah!
Yay, but I think the year's over. I don't know if we can come back. We will
So
be doing
close.
we will be doing podcasts. We can't do a bet for the week of Christmas because that will be our Love and Respect episode. But and considering you have an identical bet with one of the other guys, that means if you win Blood, then his card. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we can get to at least a 2-point differential. Oh boy. But we did okay. We had a fun year. And we'll have a fun time doing Ore Wars over the holidays. Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. You might have noticed we had a segment called Love and Respect during this. That came from our $5 tier at patreon.com/easyallies. That the silver lining also at the beginning. I was going to mention that and also this week, but somebody brought that up. They were like, hey, I can finally, hopefully, go buy a Kadabra card or maybe sell, and not get in trouble like my old cards. So that was positive news. All that comes from, and those $5 tier, they get the podcast early. They get it on Fridays every week instead of Sunday. But a lot of people that just get the early access for that, among other shows, might not realize that they can submit to Love and Respect and to Silver Lining. So we have a lot of wonderful people that do that. Unfortunately, there are posts that happen every week. There's 2 posts that I put in my document for this podcast that we did not get to this week. So shout out to everybody that does that. But a very specific shout out to people at our shout out tier, and we're kicking off a new month. We got some new faces added to the list. Michael Huber, you are going first. I'm going after you. Damiani, you're going after me, and Blood bringing up the rear. Shout out, easy Huber, easy, to Caleb Togi Crawford, L. Thanis, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, Jesse Blue, Stephen Thomason, and Nick.
Shout
out.
Shout out.
I can hear the peak in my ear. Daniel Bloodworth, you won the bet. You get to promote any Easy Allies video you'd like to promote. You get the final word on anything you've disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped into your head, and you get to sign off with your trademark sign-off. Take it away.
Wow. Video to promote. I'm trying to think about what we got. Oh, we got to do Dawn. Man.
Good pick.
Holy
Good pick.
cow.
Yeah.
That Neo Geo holiday special, spectacular. Wow. Like he created that, like recreated the Thanksgiving parade and all of that, and then in between got Ben talking about a bunch of crazy Neo Geo stuff. But it was so funny because like last week was just stacked full of things scheduling, and I was like, and I didn't know when Dom was going to finish this thing. This thing has been in the works since the summer, like it's been a long time. And then he's like, oh yeah, I forgot, and I want to get that on this week, and I wanted to get it up like the same time as the regular parade, and like, oh man, there's so much stuff happening the day before and the day after, like I don't want to get buried, and and then I started watching it and like, oh yeah, this has to go up then. There's no question. So I just like Q&A, I'll put that archive up on Saturday. Just do everything I can to keep Don from getting buried. But yeah, definitely go and check that out. Get in the holiday spirit. Final word. I'll just I'll reiterate the importance of Patreon and everyone to if you can get in there. If you can help us out, please do so. We've had a lot of people this year that just, every time we look in at the reasons people had to leave, and and there's just been so many that have lost work or who just can't keep up and keep doing, supporting us. And so, if you have that option, definitely get in there and check out Patreon. Check out the $1 tier or the $5 tier. You don't have to go big money. Just get in there, and if you can give a little bit more, keep in mind that like you're not just making, you're not just providing, you're not just getting the stuff that is there on Patreon. You're not just getting those perks and rewards, but you're providing the ability for us to make all of these videos for everybody, for the people that can't afford to chip in. So yeah, go over there and consider that. And we'll see you before the next blood moon rises.
By the way, I'm going to be testing for all the cheese strats immediately.
Drift compatible, Damiani.